And good morning, good evening, good afternoon from wherever you joined. Welcome to SharePoint at 25. Today, I'm specifically going to talk about SharePoint agents in detail. So, specifically, in this particular session, what I'm going to talk about is what are the SharePoint agents when we are talking about the overall SharePoint journey now in 2026, where we are at with the SharePoint. So first we will talk about the concept of SharePoint agent. We'll talking about different use cases and overview over there. And after that, slowly we will start talking about what are the different kind of SharePoint agent we can build it upon. There are some inbuilt feature available. There are some custom SharePoint agent you can build it out. So how you can create and customize your agent. Also, there is one more question come up into mind when we are building the SharePoint agent is all about like how the SharePoint agent permission will look like. Uh, will it respect the SharePoint's native permission or do we need to take care of the separate other permission? So that's also something we will need to talk about into this session. Also, when you build the SharePoint agent, what are the some best practices you need to follow, as well as how the collaboration will the agent will work. That's something we'll talk about. And at the end, we'll discuss about the governance and licensing of the SharePoint as well. So right now we know that in the world of Copilot, in the world of Power Platform, in the world of SharePoint, specifically we are having most of the time confusion that okay, we are having Copilot Studio as well as sometimes we are having like a M365 Copilot as well as sometimes we are having SharePoint agent. So what is the difference between this different product which is ultimately doing the similar kind of task, and when to use what kind of product? Let me just answer you that as well throughout this session. So at the end of the session, at least you will be having this concept pretty much cleared out about this different level of copilots available in the world of Copilot Studio. But specifically today we are going to start our journey with the SharePoint agent first. So let me first talk about that journey over here. So what is the SharePoint agent? So SharePoint agents are basically AI powered assistants which are automatically created to each and every SharePoint site if you are having M365 Copilot license. Basically, they are grounded in your site's documents and pages and not complex setup needed in order to perform all this activity. So basically, any new SharePoint site when you are creating with M365 Copilot license, basically it grounded in document and page libraries, and specifically from your site content, it generate the answer 24 by 7 for you. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's see it with the practical example so you will get a better understanding around that. So here I am on my screen and here I am having one SharePoint site called request for proposal. Now this will work for any cases, whether you are having M3 team site or whether you are having communication site, you will be having this functionality by default if you are having M365 Copilot license. Now, number one thing we need to understand here is specifically on your SharePoint, you are having the different modern pages. So let's say here I'm having the different content which is created on my SharePoint. Here I'm having different libraries. Like let's say I'm having like my company overview library where I'm having the different documents stored, security control where I'm having some of the documents stored, some of the architecture level document which I'm having over here, right? Now the thing is that when you are going to the SharePoint, by default on the top right corner, you will be able to see one Copilot icon by default. Now, what is that Copilot icon and what functionality it offers? Let's talk about that. So simply when you are talking about this top level icon over here, click on that. As soon as you click on that, basically it will just open up the out of the box native Copilot over here on the screen. Now, what would be happen here is by default agent that is being created over here, its name is same like your site name. So here you can see request for proposal, and here as well I'm having the same name, request for proposal. So it will create one agent automatically without having any kind of separate setup over here. Now simply couple of activities you will be able to perform over here. Like, okay, it will give you the overall detail of your site. It can search the content from your site pages or different custom pages that you have created. Of course, it will not taking the context from your custom SPFX web part, but all the other modern pages as well as out of the box web part. And if you configure any content from there, of course it will support from there. Now over here you can ask any question. So like, let's say for an example here, let me simply ask one question over here. Summarize the recent update for the site. Now when you hit enter, basically if any other changes that are made over here into this overall site, it will ground that and basically try to answer that question out for you. So this is like your common kind of what can I say is front facing agent which is available at your SharePoint without creating anything natively by your own. On top of that, so now you can see that it is telling me that okay, what is the recent summary. So basically in question bank, some of the questions are getting updated over here. It's just giving me this information. Okay, apart from that, if you are having any other question for you, like okay, list me all the document libraries, and I'm just hitting enter over here. So basically it will show me all the available document library from the SharePoint and giving me the data over here. Okay, so let's see. Search all list and maybe search all the library for containing the price. So I'm just having this type of prompt over here, and let's see what it can giving up for me. I'm just entering over here the Word documents. And whenever it is not able to search anything from your site or document, it's just giving you this kind of error message like, sorry, I'm not able to understand it out. But now it is trying to find this thing out because I really want documents from the overall site. It's suggesting me what are the different documents available for you and showing me over here in this scene interface over here. Okay, so this is how the out of the box native SharePoint agent works. But now the question is that no, I don't want to utilize this out of the box custom available out of the box agent over here. Instead, I want to create my own agent based on some libraries and all. Then how can I configure that thing out and how that functionality looks like? Let me talk about that. So for that, what you can do is simply go to your site content over here. When you open your site content, go to any document library where you wanted to build your agent or which you want to customize for. I'm clicking on this type of architectural document library over here. Now here you can see that I'm having certain set of documents available over here. Now at the SharePoint level, we are having one amazing feature available called AI actions. So when you look at this AI actions feature over here, it is providing you certain more options over here. So from here, you can create an agent, which means that that agent is built on this document library over here. Or you can specify any document from here. So let's say for an example, I'm selecting this document over here. So this is one Word file I'm having over here. When you select this AI action over here, it is showing you a couple of options for you. Number one is summarize, which means that it is summarizing that document and show the summary for you. It can create an FAQ for you. It can create an audio overview for you. You can ask some question to it and you can create your own custom agent on top of that as well. These all the things are available at the SharePoint level itself. Now let's click on summarize option from here. And when you click on summarize option over here, it will basically looking at the document content and basically giving you the summary for this document. Let this to be generated so you can see the clear result. So basically when you make a summary, you can see this type of one pager summary will be created for you over here. Now on top of that, you can just ask some question as well. So when you click on ask question over here, on the right hand side over here, it will start loading one panel. And now over here you can specify something over there, that okay, Dataverse architecture. You can ask any question from that particular document, and according to that, if it matches any content from there, you will be able to get the answer from it. So basically that's also something which is available at your SharePoint level in a native fashion. Okay, so this is what it is giving me, this information. Now let's go one more level up from here. Let's say for an example, here I am having certain files, and now let's say I want to create one own custom agent rather than agent which is targeting from whole SharePoint site. How can I do that? For that, the process is very simple. Let's say for an example, here I am having certain things like enterprise implementation case study. Let me open some of the document over here. So here I am having some documentation around emergency energy sector. This is some enterprise solution architecture level files. Apart from here, we are having certification and compliance file. We are having one more file called deployment model. Okay. Now let's say for an example, you specifically want to build some sort of agent based on certain set of specified document. Or let's say for an example, if you are going to the security, here you are having some security policy defined for your organization. Let's say here it is mentioned like this way, some of the data protection control policy you are having over here. Okay. Or sometimes this is like a company overview, so overall company profile related information is showing to you here. Okay. Now what I want to do here is simply from this document library, and specifically from this document I want to create an agent, custom agent. Then I can simply select this from here, simply go clicking on AI action, and there is an option create an agent. Once you click on that, it basically showing you three different steps over here: overview, source, and behavior. Okay. Now what do we mean by these three steps? Let's have a look. So first of all, you need to provide the name of your agent. So I'm just providing over here, the agent name is company information. Company information. Okay. Then you need to provide the purpose, that what exactly this agent is doing for you. So I'm just using this agent is curated based on the content from the selected file resources. It is able to give the answer for the in company profile related question. Always provide a better description over here for the better results. So if you know about the what is there in the content, it's always good practice to provide appropriate description here. Once you do this activity, you need to go to the source section. Here in the source, you can see that we have selected a single file over here. So I can see the single selected file over here called company profile. In this case, you can provide multiple files as well, or overall document library as well if you want, or sometimes from OneDrive as well. If you want to consume any file, you can supply it over here. So this is second step, sources, means which sources you are able to attach it over here. Now number one thing you need to also understand that here you can add 20 sources for each agent, not more than 20 sources. Okay. Also, the thing is that responses from this agent are based on the sources selected. Users must have permission to the sources for an optimal experience when sharing the agent. Consider adding the sources from SharePoint to avoid the permission issue, as these files are more widely available, which means that whenever you build up this agent, and let's say for an example, after you finishing your agent creation journey, and if you are sharing this with the larger set of audience, at the time what will happen here is it will follow and respect the SharePoint permission that is being created and applied onto that particular appropriate document. If user don't have a permission, he cannot be able to access any content from it. So remember that please. Now second part B is finished, and now last part is behavior. Behavior is all about like how your agent will render when any new conversation is being started. So it basically divided into three part over here. First is welcome message, second one is starter prompts, and third one is agent instruction. Now what we need to supply here is first welcome message. So again, welcome message is nothing but when you are opening this agent for the first time, just provide certain instruction that what type of question that they can ask over here. So ask a question or get started with one of those prompt. This is like a welcome message. Okay. Here you can just provide some sort of starter prompt like, okay, about company, about the company, when the company was founded. Okay. Or maybe how can I help you? Okay, maybe I'm just having this type of 3 starter prompts over here, and simply here you just need to provide some instruction, provide accurate information about the content in selected file and reply in the formal tone. Make sure answer is accurate, and to avoid the hallucination I will just add some more instruction over here. If you are not confident, do not give the answer. Make sure you use the professional tone and easy to understand language. Okay, I'm just providing this type of instruction over here, and let's click on create. As soon as you click on create, the agent will be created. All right, and basically this is what it is showing to you. Your agent is ready, and now you can start chatting up with your agent, and that agent is basically available in your company overview document library over here. All right, so let's click on chat with agent. As soon as you do that, it basically redirecting you to the M365 Copilot portal, and that is the place where we can see this. How can I help you? And you can see that it is showing you this company information over here, right? It's available for you. Now here you can start applying some sort of chat, and you can see that there are some starter prompt that you provided. It's just showing me over there, and when you print that about the company, it basically look at the information from the document and give you the answer accordingly. And see, this is what it is providing you, the information that what is all about that company. Okay, so this is how it will work. Now let's talk about the sharing mechanism and agent file which is created behind the scene for SharePoint agent. So when you create any new custom SharePoint agent, behind the scene it creating one file with .sharepoint extension. Okay, now the sharing mechanism will work same like your other SharePoint file. Click on share button over here, and now it's totally up to you with how many audience you want to share this agent, whether it's a single person or you can provide SharePoint group or anything, you can supply it over here. Right now I'm not doing anything over here, but as a site owner, now let's say I want to make this agent to be available on this screen. How can I do that? For that, simply I'm just going to the home page of my SharePoint. And now I'm simply clicking on this Copilot icon over here. And by default, we know that it has the out of the box SharePoint agent, which is same name like your site name. Okay, but let's say instead of that, you want your custom SharePoint agent to be available over here. In that particular case, you simply need to click on here and select this company information over here. So you can simply switch your agent over here in this fashion. Now let's say if you say here about the company, it will start answering you about that question. And let's say as a site owner, you want to make sure that this agent is available for everyone, then you need to mark that as a approved one And second thing is that you can mark this agent as a default position as well. So anytime when this agent will open, it will show in the first position. So what I'm doing here is currently I'm having the site owner access. So I'm just saying that set as a approved. So I'm just saying as a set as an approved. Once you mark that agent as an approved agent, then only it will be able to, you will be able to see that agent for other users. So this agent is being approved. You can find them in agent site assets. So when you go to the site asset for the same SharePoint site, you will be able to see this is being now available for the other people to consume it out. Okay. Also, one more important thing here is, so this is being published now. Now you can do one more thing as well over here. So when you click on show more, it is showing you all the different agent available for you. And now let's say this is the agent that you want to make as a default agent rather than opening your specifically like out of the box agent. Instead of that, you want to make this as your default agent. You can just mark this as a site default. Now I'm just clicking on this and making this agent as a site default. Now in this case, what happened is, let's say if I'm refreshing the site page now, at the time it will just show that out of the box, instead of that out of the box agent at the first position, it will always render your custom agent that you have created within the SharePoint. So let this to be loaded and see, this is what you can see at this point. Now, couple of things we also need to understand here when you are looking at the SharePoint agent. So this is one thing you did here. Okay. Now let me talk about one more thing, that someone's mic is on. Make sure your mic is turned off. I'm just going to the site content and I'm just opening the SharePoint list. So the question also arises that, okay, library level all fine. My things are working absolutely fine. But what about the list? So let's say this is one of my SharePoint list over here. Okay. Now when you go here, right now you can see that there is no such option of any kind of SharePoint Copilot over here. So right now the thing is that the agent capability is not available at the list level. Hopefully in the future, very soon it will be available for the list as well. But unfortunately, like right now at list level, not such functionality available as we have just talked about at the library level. Okay. So to summarize this SharePoint agent, basically mainly two type of agent: out of the box agent, which is always available when site is created, and second one is custom agent that you can build on top of your libraries or maybe on top of some of your specified document. All right. Now there is one more question arise in our mind about the permission thing, right? So as I said, the once you build any agent, basically it is available as a part of your site asset. Okay. And inside that you can able to see the approved agent over here underneath approved section. All right. Now one more thing I would like to bring up over here is once any of this agent is available, after that you need to if you want to specifically share with the specific set of audience, so that group or people's name is something which you need to simply add over here in order to share the agent. And basically it will respect your SharePoint document libraries file permission. So let's say for an example, you provided access of the agent, but let's say person don't have the access on your document level. They can never be able to open the or maybe ask the question from that particular document or that particular library. Now, so this is all about like a native SharePoint agent. Okay. And this is all available within the SharePoint. We didn't did any extra activity for that. What you need as a part of final licensing over here is all about like you need to have certain set of specifically like a M365 Copilot license, or maybe you just require a pay as you go plan as well available over here. You can just utilize those things over here as well. All right. Same SharePoint agent you can integrate within your teams as well if you want. So when you are here, when your agent is loaded, and when you click on the share, this is the simple share button, and apart from that as well, there is an option copy link for teams. Okay, copy this. Okay, I copied this thing, and you can simply paste that in your team's group chat as well. Let me just do this thing over here quickly. So let me open up the Teams. And by the time my Teams is opening, I also wanted to showcase one more interesting thing over here. So let me just open up the same thing within the Copilot Studio over here. copilotstudio.microsoft.com. And let me just open up one any agent that we are having in your Copilot Studio level, and we'll just do side by side comparison as well over here. So overall in the Copilot Studio, we know that Copilot Studio is the product which is basically used to build your own custom agent for yourself, right? So over here as well, we are having one agent based on the SharePoint as a knowledge source. Okay, so the good thing about this Copilot agent is that when you are working with the Copilot Studio, okay, and you have configured any other document library or anything over here, like let's say here in this case, we have trained our document specifically Copilot Studio agent with one of the SharePoint document library over here. Okay, so in Copilot Studio, when you look at this, you are having the much more capability over here. Like you can configure your own knowledge sources over here. Let's say for an example is sometimes if you want to perform any CRUD operation, like creating an entry into list or retrieving the data from the SharePoint list, or maybe if you wanted to know the status from the SharePoint list. So there are different tools available. Okay, and again it is powered by Work IQ, and if you look at over here, SharePoint connector is available. And with this SharePoint connector, you can use all these native tool section over here with the Copilot Studio. So now if we compare both the products over here side by side, okay, and by the time basically I have opened certain set of team set as well. So let me just do one thing over here quickly. I'm searching my name over here and I'm just pasting one of the URL over here that we just shared with the chat agent. So basically it opens that share agent over here for me, using which we can simply communicate with this over here. So we can just use add this to add that agent over this chat, and we can start communicating with that SharePoint agent that we built. Okay, by the time of course we so see it is being added over here within my Teams, and now you can start talking to this by this way: company information, company details. And in the team set as well, it will start giving me the answers. Okay, so you can see that that agent is a declarative agent where you can talk and it is simply start giving you the answer from it. So that's how it will work. Okay, now one thing as well, like in this SharePoint agent, so this is this side is my Copilot Studio agent where you can use SharePoint as a knowledge source, and this side I'm having the normal SharePoint where we created our own custom agent, right? Now if I'm just going on the top over here, all right, and I'm simply opening my site content quickly. Let's say I'm going to the company overview here in the library. All right, and let's do one thing. I'm just making it a little bit bigger. Site content. And I'm just going to the site assets, Copilots, upload. And if I'm just clicking on here and clicking on edit, so you can see here, this is what the agent configuration screen looks like. So in SharePoint agent in a native way, when you talk about it, just work on the knowledge source. it do not work on any kind of tool section, but in Copilot Studio you are having much more capability over there. Here you don't have any option to work with the list, but here you can integrate Power Automate, Agent Flow, or you can use any of this action and deal with that as well. So that's the power you can get it over here. Also, the SharePoint agent that you are, let's say SharePoint knowledge source agent that you are building over here, there are different options as well available over here. So you can simply, let's say if you are publishing this agent, and let's say if you want to uh, publish that agent to your SharePoint, the native option as well available. So you select simply the SharePoint option from here and which site you want to deploy, and according to that it will just show you that SharePoint agent to on that site as well. Particular session is all the agents that you are creating within your SharePoint are agent files. Basically it's fully version controlled, shareable, and respecting the permission. It auto grounded content in the SharePoint, which means that any file is updating according to that latest content, you will get it from there. It's not something that it is working based on the outdated data source or any already trained model. So any live updates within your documents can be reflected in the search result as well. Everything is permission protected and highly customizable. Specifically, like you can configure your source behavior, that something based on your need you can work it out. You can collaborate with the agents via @ within the teams. It's fully governable, and Microsoft Purview compliance can be applicable on that, as well as no more complex setup is required. Pretty much very easy to configure, and up to 20 source per agent you can specifically train your agent on. So this is all about the SharePoint agent for your search. Okay, if you wanted to know more information about that, you can always visit out some of the official Microsoft documentation. I will paste the link in the comment section. If you are for the first time to my channel, make sure you hit thumbs up and subscribe my channel, and don't forget to follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Also, if you are looking for any paid membership, the premium membership courses are available over here. Always click on the join button to enroll yourself as a part of the premium member. Currently 3 different courses are available and much more are adding into that. So don't forget to follow me on my premium membership plan as well. With that note, this is Ruvin signing off. See you in the next episode with some amazing content. Till then, have a great day. Goodbye.